Even though dogs are the most popular pets in the world, there are many weird behaviors dogs do that just don't add up. Like the real reason they eat grass is actually really weird. There is a disgusting reason for why dogs hump, and they lift their legs to pee for the weirdest reason you can imagine. You'll learn the truth about all these and more in this video. But first, let's discuss the weirdest behavior yet. The zoomies. We have all been there. Your dog starts running around with no end in sight for seemingly no reason at all. This is what we call the zoomies, and it can possibly be a warning sign. On one hand, your dog is very excited and happy when they do this. However, this can be a sign your dog isn't getting enough mental exercise, with this being their way of draining all that energy. This is why it's a good idea to buy them toys that make them think outside the box, so they will feel more happy and relaxed. Although, let's also go over a common behavior dogs do, which can actually be a warning sign. Eating grass. There are actually many reasons dogs do this. One reason is that they just like the taste of grass, and that is totally fine. However, these next reasons could be warning signs. If your dog eats grass because they are bored and are looking for a distraction, it might mean they are depressed or feeling lonely. Not only this, but if your dog eats grass too often, it could mean they have stomach problems, in which you should take them to the vet immediately. But don't stress too much, as 9 times out of 10, it's totally normal and just a cute thing dogs do. However, let's also discuss a strange dog behavior with a surprising meaning. Sniffing butts. For us humans, sniffing butts is really weird. But for dogs, it makes total sense. Keep in mind that they have a really strong sense of smell, so whenever a dog sniffs a butt, they are actually getting to know the other canine. Instead of long and boring conversations like us humans, with just a whiff, a dog will know the gender, emotional state, diet, and health of a potential mate. Consider it as a dog's way to meet new people. But if you thought that was interesting, this next strange behavior is something we all just love to see: chasing their own tail. It's pretty funny seeing a dog running in circles trying to catch their tail. Fortunately, this behavior is completely normal, and there is nothing to worry about. Whenever dogs do this, it's a way for them to release energy. Think about it like this. When they are bored, chasing the funny little thing dangling from their back is a harmless distraction. Nevertheless, this next super weird dog behavior is really disgusting and can even be a warning sign. But first, if you enjoy what you see, feel free to subscribe. I will consistently provide educational and interesting dog videos so you can make your pup the happiest. But anyways, let's move on to a dog behavior that is absolutely gross. Rolling in poop. I know, this is really filthy. But just like sniffing butts, the reason why they do this makes a little bit more sense. Numerous studies have actually shown that rolling in poo is a behavior known as scent rolling. This is an instinct from back when dogs were wild, where they would hide their smell to help them approach prey quickly. It's also generally believed that dogs communicate with each other using strong scents, like that of poop. So even though it definitely is a bit disgusting, at least it's totally normal and nothing to worry about. However, let's also discuss a strange dog behavior that could be a warning sign: licking their own lips. While this typically is an innocent thing your dog does, there are a few things you need to keep an eye on. For example, if there are unfamiliar people or pets in the home, or you see your dog licking his lips often, this is a sign of anxiety and fear. By licking their lips, it's their way of communicating that they are friendly and won't cause any trouble. So if you notice them doing this when in an unfamiliar situation, make sure to comfort and guide them. But if you thought that was interesting, let's also talk about a weird dog behavior that almost everybody has seen: lifting their leg to pee. You probably know by now that dogs pee in certain places to mark their territory. But the reason why they lift their leg is actually completely different. When a dog pees on top of a fire hydrant or high up on a tree, it is a signal to other dogs that they are not to be messed with. By lifting their legs, they try to pee as high as possible so they appear as tough and big as possible to other dogs that come by. So next time your dog does this, just know that they are showing who's boss. By the way, I have some dog toys in the description that I think you'll absolutely love. I will link them below in the description. But anyways, moving on. While this last behavior means dominance, this next weird thing dogs do is really silly: rolling their butts across the floor. Dogs have a special body part in their behinds called butt glands. These are the parts dogs love to smell when they sniff butts. But sometimes these butt sacs can get uncomfortable when they are too full. Since it can be painful, their way of relieving this is by dragging and rubbing their bums across the floor. It may seem embarrassing, but remember that a dog doesn't have hands or feet like we do. So next time you see them do this, help them out by scratching their behind. They'll love you for it. Although, let's also discuss another strange dog behavior, which is really heartwarming: snuggling into your things. Dogs love one thing more than anything else: you. But as you know, you can't spend time with your dog 24/7. So how does your dog get close to you without you actually being there? Being in your belongings. Since your things have a special scent, dogs will often snuggle into them, and with their powerful sense of smell, mimic being near you. They have unconditional love for you, and this is one of the unique ways your dog tries to be with you as much as possible. Isn't that just so adorable? This next odd behavior may seem weird on the surface, but has a really interesting hidden meaning: sniffing your groin. Have you ever had a rough day and you're just sitting on the couch when all of a sudden your pup comes up, takes a sniff of your groin, and then lays down next to you to comfort you? This may seem really strange, but it actually makes total sense. According to a study conducted in Japan, our pups sniff the groin because it's the most accessible location for a dog to smell and decode our feelings. They detect pheromones, which are a chemical signal produced by sweat. Since dogs have a very strong sense of smell, they just love to take a sniff of that smelly area. It's just a small, harmless thing dogs do, which is really intriguing. But if you thought that was interesting, this next weird thing dogs do shows their loyalty to you: exposing their bellies. The belly area is where dogs protect the most, since there are many vulnerable organs inside, so they usually hide this part from people they don't feel comfortable with. On the other hand, though, they feel fine exposing their bellies to the people they trust the most. If they do this with you, it's a telltale sign they feel happy to be with you. So feel proud and give them a good belly rub to make them even happier. However, last but not least, let's talk about the disgusting reason dogs do this strange behavior: humping. This may be one of the most awkward parts of being a dog owner, but the reason they do it is a lot more innocent than it seems. According to a study done in Germany, it turns out that when dogs are just super excited and full of energy, they might just let loose and go for it. Not only this, but if they feel stressed, humping is an excellent way to release any pent-up energy. But this can also be a warning sign. If your dog has itchy skin, they might rub against stuff, which can accidentally lead to some humping action. But don't be too worried, as most of the time, it's just a harmless and silly little behavior. Hope you found this interesting. If you learned something new, you'll definitely learn a lot more in this next video, in which we discuss 11 key things a dog never forgives. See you there!